Thank you all for coming, and thank you for coming out for past events as well. I see a lot of faces that I've seen before, and a lot of faces that I've seen on Facebook, and we've chatted with each other that way, but never actually met, so I'm pleased to be able to meet you guys, and I'm pleased to be in the presence of such talent. I would like to introduce Debrah Morkun. Debrah Morkun received a Master of Fine Arts in Writing and Poetics from Naropa University. After receiving this degree, she gypsied around the country. You can take that to mean whatever you like. In 2005, she worked at the Bowery Poetry Club in New York City and learned much about the importance of poetic performance. Her long poem projection machine recently served as lyrical impetus for a multimedia Fringe Festival performance, combining poetry, music, visual art, and dance that was performed at the Adrian Theater in Philadelphia. She is a founding member of the New Philadelphia Poets, which is an awesome, awesome group. Who actually has branched out into New York with their performances now. And they're a group that is committed to expanding the spaces for poetry in Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, Debrah Morkun.
Hello. So I guess gypsying around the country means it means moving around from place to place. Something that I don't do any longer, but it was definitely something that I used to do and something I wish that I was still doing, perhaps. And this poem is about just that. It's called God Knows How Many Time Zones. We wanted to take the train to Africa to learn more about the zodiac. In Fishtown, one woman told me the zodiac was based upon principles of ancient Celtic tree lore, the Ogham language. Her lover was a graffiti artist who loved to stick needles in his arms. I've only ingested heroin once. I got sick and could feel my soul peel. We learned more about the zodiac in the Italian market than we did on our safari through backwater Louisiana. After a more general look at the lunar eclipse, we packed our bags and left. We left as if with wings. We pushed our dustpan underneath the bed. We wanted to take the train to Zimbabwe, specifically to search for silver. Only once did we actually make it out of Boise. We fell several times out of the century train rides require for motion. We made hoops around the Midwest. We ended up several times in Kansas City, lamenting the pinkish hue the sun creates around the meager skyline. For gold, we traveled west, beyond the swamps and swimming pools, and found golden lanterns hanging above silver lampposts. The Bronze Age came years before we counted pennies at the Bank of America on 17th Street. We sent away for postcards and felt rain in the postage stamps. We took the bus to New York City to understand the waistlines of submarines and tanks. The machines lift weird mechanisms above the city. We continually hide behind the Chrysler building until there is little left besides barbecues in the back lot. We have an audience now. Everyone can see how much time it takes to declare a funeral. Pulse. Low. Lower. There's no gold there. There's a forest. There's no water there. Sea salt loosens paperweights. There's no harlequin dancer there. I wanted to seed one. There's no Vestal Virgin there. I wanted to plant one. There's no time there. Just congratulations. There's no sunlight there. The road is long. He told me we'd go to Albany. We left. Philadelphia grew smaller behind us. Pennsylvania was founded by Quakers. Knowing this somehow made us feel safer, like we'd grown up with simplicity, like we'd grown up soundless, waiting for only the moved to speak. The map on her bedroom wall slowly slides down. Those countries hate her. As though Genghis Khan redrew her forest with leaves from Outer Mongolia, placed pigeons outside her bedroom door, a collection of skyscrapers. But first, Mongolia, vanish. Multiply your beaches for our swimming. Very brightly, the sunbelt voracious, we slide hands along the atlas, find new places to live. On the beach, we found plants that felt like summer, Only when we placed them on our faces, they grew colder, and without them we felt our journey lose itself in its last nerve. Gypsy, sense, sapiens, underbrush, cashmere doom fundamental, the islands full of hailstorms, Lockweed meiosis, Precambrian rehearsals this way. In the museum halls of Westminster Abbey, a curator talks to an American tourist about the death of John F. Kennedy. The curator went out and bought a black dress upon learning of the death of the American Irish Catholic president. She was so used to wearing white, she said she couldn't sleep much that night. I placed my last nerve in a bottle, send it floating down the river. In Rome, my family sits basking in too much sun, watching the Pope canonize a turn-of-the-century village monk. The Pope spreads thick frankincense everywhere. My mother says the monk is our distant cousin. He lives on Mount Verna and healed the village sick. She gets stuck in Kansas for 5 hours. The road is hard. The woman in the town shop says she loves living in Kansas. Last year she got stuck in Pembina, North Dakota, en route to Saskatchewan. Holy place. The mirror becomes the land. There is one woman who is alone. There is another woman who is afraid. Both glare at each other in the subway car. She flips through the latest issue of Harper's Bazaar, glancing at the latest in Navy-style jackets. The one who is afraid gazes out the subway window. The doors open. A mechanical voice announces Girard Avenue. The one who is alone makes her way past the crowd. The one who is afraid stays inside the car. She picks up a copy of the Philadelphia Inquirer and searches for the horoscope section. Regicide in Valencia. Wolfhound Zoroaster abandons amnesia. Half-sister, hypermedia. The Lake District Majestic, the prayer book a result of rhyme. Roanoke, Virginia Tantra, like the unparalleled unstuck. Nail ourselves onto the cobblestones of earlier cities. Glue ourselves to each little pebble of the marketplace. Zarathustra, streetwalks, progesterone. Utopia, individuates, asinine. Manhattan, archon, crypto, chrism. Voodoo, flip-flop, sacrifice. We felt lonely the first time we saw him, peering through the jungle at the silver screen. We continue to move despite those forces that intend to keep us here forever. Pretend the night is drapery enough for the unsung portions of the day to seem unimportant, despite how one can stand against the afternoon long enough to pretend the year is over, each day damming up the one before. I don't want to see myself in the earlier city, for some believe the old must rip apart earth mines. You become an honest watchtower. I am an angel with 2 voices. I sleep among newspapers. At least he is a man, at least she is a woman, created like larvae, twisting in subgum. Piled pearls. I could sell an entire armsload for sheep, and still manage to make enough profit before the morning. Especially if we started digging in the winter. We'd pull turnips out of their graves and almost be moved to die in the earth with them. My saint, you are brother in this land, and for that reason I feed you straw and allow you to sleep in my slumber room. We shouldn't leave, so hesitate. In Earth years, the moon bursts out of its shell and replaces creation with a slight ginger ringing of bells. Only the bathroom is private. I lock myself in for peace. Don't try to forge this new, don't try to come from, don't this space. We emerge dripping from the river, holding 2 sounds, one like silver. Thank you very much for coming.